What keeps you from inviting people over to your house? Maybe it's the laundry that got washed but has yet to be folded, making an appearance on the couch. Maybe you just don't feel like there's enough space to invite someone over. For many of us, the word hospitality fills us with dread. We are automatically feeling the pressure that we have to perform, to make things perfect, to entertain or impress other people. But what if there's a different motive altogether?
What if real biblical hospitality isn't about performing at all, but about being present with others? That you can actually overcome your fear of having to be perfect, realizing hospitality is about joy. Being able to say, I'm so glad you're here. And in fact, there's a way to overcome the fear of feeling like you have to be perfect and just letting people in so that they are able to say, thanks for having me over.
Yeah, I think first it's really important to distinguish between entertainment and hospitality.
Yeah.
Two different things. Entertaining is all about drawing attention to yourself. Look at this fabulous meal I cooked. Look at my awesome home, right? Showing off your space, showing off your cooking. It's about appearances, and trying to keep that image up can be exhausting, intimidating, and just prohibitive. Like, I'm not going to do that. Biblical hospitality, though, is all about serving others. It focuses completely on the people you're inviting over, making them feel welcome, being present with them.
Yeah, I think you do a great job of this. That you really, even in the midst of having all of our kids running around your house.
Running everywhere.
Yes, they are crazy. You being able to stay present with people, which is such a gift. Because I think that hospitality is also about an attitude toward people.
Yeah.
That it's being able to say, hey, you are seen, you are valued, you are even loved here in this space. Not just that everything is pieced together perfectly.
Right.
And that attitude makes a really big difference.
Yeah, Bob, I think you're so good at that too, of really asking questions and having real conversation, not just we're here in the same place at the same time, but like engaging with people, making them feel really valued. I think another thing is, wildly, as crazy as this sounds, hospitality isn't just a suggestion in the Bible. It's really given to us as a command.
Okay.
So 1 Peter 4:9 says, offer hospitality to one another without grumbling. So thankfully, it doesn't say anything about perfect homes or gourmet meals or all the laundry put away. But it does say, yeah, you're supposed to do this. It's about welcoming other people with a cheerful attitude. The pressure to perform or be perfect is totally off the board.
Yeah, there's a story in Luke chapter 10 that you may or may not be familiar with, but I think it sheds a little bit of light on even this idea of hospitality. There's a difference between these sisters, Martha and Mary. So one of them is kind of scurrying around, preparing a meal, and she knows the cultural norms.
Yeah.
She is trying to honor her guest. And yet Jesus talks to the other sister and says, she has been present with me and worshiping me during this time, listening to my teachings, and she's actually chosen the better thing.
Yeah.
Which makes you ask the question, well, wait, there's something better than kind of preparing the space? Oh, it's being fully present in that space with the people who are there. So I think that invites, even though there was something unique going on there, because Jesus is the King of Kings, I think there is something for us to remember, that us being present and even worshipful, but present with the people that we're with makes a difference, other than just trying to have every little piece of the house perfectly put together.
All the pieces of silverware.
Even though I will say, being prepared for your guests or cooking a nice meal or making sure the house is clean does honor them. Still, your presence with them is even more important.
Yeah, I think there's 4 main ways we can kind of talk about of ways to live a more hospitable life. And the first is just to rethink what you consider home. So it might be your home, as big or as small as it is. But if it really, biblical hospitality is about meeting people where they are and serving them, then your home, that space that you're being hospitable, could be at Starbucks. It could be your dorm room. It could be a park somewhere. It could be outdoors. Like, there's so many opportunities if your motivation and your focus really is just the other person, serving them and being present.
Yeah, I think another principle here is choosing people over perfection. And what I mean by that is, it is easy to get caught up to think that my space has to look and be totally perfect. My food has to be totally perfect. I have to have a plan. When in fact, my focus just needs to be on being present with the person or with the people that I'm having over, right? like, I'm not going to see the dust on your mantelpiece if I'm looking you eye to eye and you're showing me how much you care about me.
Thank goodness.
It just matters a lot less.
Yeah.
So I think one of my favorite stories recently about this was a beloved couple in our church that I was talking with. They were a young couple a number of years ago and said, oh man, we really felt like we were finally in when this cool, affluent couple in our church invited us and some others over to their house.
Yeah.
And then when we got there, on their marble countertop was a crock pot of hot dogs.
I mean, it can't get more simple.
I know.
Or more welcoming than a crock pot of hot dogs.
That is exactly what they said. They go, that just totally broke our paradigm. And we thought maybe hospitality is way simpler than what we realized.
Yeah. And I think that's such a helpful reminder. You know, the third thing I'd say is if you're new to hospitality, start with something small.
Yeah.
A small, simple step.
It's good.
It could be, hey, I'm going to take a meal to a neighbor who just had a baby, or to someone I know who's grieving, or someone just had a bad day. And friends, you don't even have to cook that meal. You can pick up takeout.
Come on.
Just take it.
I'm a big fan of pizza, baby.
I know. No one's sad about a meal they didn't pay for and didn't have to cook, right? It could also be just intentionally sitting with someone who's always alone at church.
Yeah.
That's a hospitable posture toward that person to say, I'm with you. We're going to stay present in this together. It could be, a lot of times people do this around the holidays when they're ordering a lot of packages from Amazon, leaving out like a little basket for your delivery drivers with some water, some snacks. Again, it's that hospitable posture toward the people. Like, I want to serve you.
Yeah.
I want to make this about you. These small, regular acts show people that they are noticed and valued. And over time, you can go to bigger steps. And that might be, I'm going to have somebody over to my house for a dinner that I cook.
Yeah.
And we're going to prepare for it. But it's the small steps that lead you to that point.
I really like that idea of steps. So you can kind of take an inch toward this direction. Because maybe a fourth or final step here is that I would say we're called to welcome those who feel left out. So if you look at the actual Greek word of hospitality in the New Testament, it means love of the stranger. So really the fundamental definition of what hospitality is isn't just inviting my best friends to come hang out and come over. It's finding those who are least, who are marginalized, who have a need, who feel lonely, who might be new, and inviting them into my life and them into my space. And that can look like all kinds of different things.
Right.
So again, like, get to know the people who are new at church and see if they want to eat lunch afterward, right? Find that coworker who's struggling with something or that you just really don't know well or is new to the team and have them over for pizza. But it's finding the people who have needs or who might be lonely or lost. Jesus was perfect at this. He's constantly spending dinner time and meals with people who are on the margins. And that is a picture for us of what hospitality looks like to those on the outer rim.
Yeah, I think that picture of Jesus too, he turns strangers into neighbors and neighbors into family, right? It's that progression that's super helpful. And if we think about it, you know, before we know God, we are strangers to him. We are outside, we don't know him. And he welcomes us to him, right? He doesn't want anything from us except our devotion, our faith, but he welcomes us to himself when we are strangers. He did all of the hard work. He sent his son to die and to rise again. He served us in that way. Jesus stretches out his arms on the cross to welcome us into a family relationship with God. So we start off strangers and we end up his children. We end up family. And Paul says it well in Romans 15:7, therefore welcome one another as Christ has welcomed you. So when we practice hospitality with a biblical heart and motive, we are echoing the gospel. We get to be a real life example that points people to what Jesus accomplished and does for us.
So what's your next step? Pick someone to invite over.
You could do it.
This week, find somebody who you feel like the Lord might be nudging your heart to invite them into your space or even into your home. Remember, God is with you as you do this, so you can be courageous. You don't have to be perfect. Just be a real person connecting with real people and demonstrate the love of God to them, like Eve was just talking about, welcoming them, not just into your house, but into your heart. Man, I hope this was helpful to you. If this video was helpful, like it and subscribe to this channel. check out binmin.org, where there's all kinds of videos and articles that you can check out that will help you in your spiritual life. And jump on the email newsletter for BinMin, because then we will send resources your way that can help you take the next step in your spiritual life. Until next time, God bless.